Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I kind of wanted to share my larger thoughts about this week in Dawn of X, and I've actually had a little bit of, a lot of discouragement when it comes to the writing of this. There's always this idea, and it's I look at books and the way that they're written, and I think, is this book for me? Should I buy this? Should I review it? Should I look at it? And I used to be a little bit overly critical of books, and I didn't like that. It kind of bothered me. I was like, well, this isn't a title for me. I'd be looking at a book like the Unbeatable Wasp, and I'd think, oh, the Squirrel Girl. I'd think, well, this isn't for me anyway. But is Dawn of X supposed to be written for me? Am I supposed to really enjoy this writing? The answer to me is yes. It's X-Men, and this is a complex issue in the sense that, I like to look at things from a writer's perspective. I've been writing various things on and off my whole life, delving into the very first time I've ever really written comic books and scripts, and so that's kind of what I'm doing now, but I will tell you, this week in X-Men has gotten me so discouraged, and I know I'm laughing, I have this nervous laughter that happens anytime that I'm actually feeling negative about something sometimes, as well as thinking it's funny. What is it? I guess I feel like it's ironic, that I really delved into Dawn of X full force in the sense that, I looked at House of X, Powers of 10, and I was like, this is the best series I've read all year, and this was last year, of course, about a year ago that it premiered, and I was like, this is incredible. It really turned me on to Jonathan Hickman, and Hickman's one of my favorite writers now. I've been going back and reading some of his older stuff from Image, Manhattan Projects, The Nightly News. I like his stuff. It's just really great, and some of these Dawn of X writers, Benjamin Percy is one of my favorite writers now too, because I've been reading some of his stuff, and I've been enjoying X-Force and Wolverine. But I am telling you, I did not enjoy this week in X-Men, and I didn't even enjoy Wolverine number 3 from last week, so I just kind of want to show you why. I don't like to spend a huge amount of time talking about negativity, but I do feel like this is a fitting thing to talk about, since, I feel like, being an X-Men fan, these books are for me, so I just want to talk about dialogue for the most part, because I'm just going to pick out a few points of this, and here you see, Wolverine number 3. This isn't from this week, it's from last week, but it shows Wolverine and Magneto, literally my favorite character, getting drunk together. Did you know in Dante's Inferno, adamantine was the name of the metal forged into the gates of hell? Fitting, I should say, given your sulfurous personality. Ha, that was a joke. I can make jokes, We played the hero and the villain, as one does when one has been around a long time, and we've certainly been around a long, long time. It's important for us to take a breather now and then, share time not just as colleagues, but dare I say it, friends. And he just collapses in a drunken heap. So, it's not Magneto. I mean, I have to say it off the bat, and of course, some people, you may disagree with me here. I don't feel like that's my Magneto, or how he would behave in the sense. I do have this theory that I continue to talk about. My last video was about Chip Zdarsky's Fantastic Four X-Men books. Just a short miniseries that he wrote, and it was freaking fantastic. But everyone is acting strangely. So my theory is, the villain island of Krakoa is controlling these mutants' minds. Instead of trying to kill them, now they're trying to control them, because it would certainly make a whole lot of sense to change its game plan as time goes forward, So I did end up reading Wolverine number 3. It gets a little bit better. I don't know, everyone's writing out of character, I guess. I did read X Factor number 1 this week. I like the idea. I really did. It was kind of like investigations. They want to find out if people died, because the resurrection team on Krakoa, the 5, they are they need to make sure that someone dies in order to resurrect them. So X Factor is saying, we're the team that goes in and investigates anything like that. And they're just doing it for the greater good. But I'm telling you, not only does everyone act out of character like Magneto did in Wolverine #3, but this dialogue, I noped out so fast when it came to just really being into this book. There's some great concepts in it, but let me just read some of it here. You're such a potent concentration of disaster bisexual that I fear your chaos is contagious. Nah, not when you've got distinguished bi prodigy around to keep things balanced. Well, we still don't need an enforcer or whatever it is you seem to think you have to offer an investigation. Come on, sweetie, please, don't you want to see Grandma? No, her breath is stinky like doo-doo. Ha ha ha. Enforcer. That's typecasting. Oh, do you do anything other than slice and flirt? I don't know. As a matter of fact, I have many talents, so just about we all just calm down. It says, I hate Grandma. You don't mean that, sweetie. Yes, he does. You're raising a psychopath, just so you know. Everyone just seems to be this very snarky comeback king, comeback queen. Everybody just wants to. This can't be everyone's personality. When you're writing. Of course, I'm not a Marvel writer, but I've read countless Marvel comics in my life, and I don't like to see my favorite characters written like this. I'm just saying, look, hey, I apologize for the negativity. I just really have to say I was all in to Dawn of X, right? I really was, and so now I'm picking up these titles, I'm buying these, and I'm like, well, why am I spending my money on this? If this is kind of the way it's going to be. So Cable #2. So I already kind of knew that I wasn't going to be picking up this title. I went ahead and picked up a couple anyway. The writer, he called me out. He told me the writer of this. He told me that my favorite writer. He was like, you do understand that your favorite writer died on welfare, don't you? It's like, why would you say that? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you need to say that to someone on Twitter? Anyway, so Cable and Esme, right? They just kissed. Shows a little heart about it. I don't have that up here. I don't have that page. I'm just taking these from like preview pages or whatever. So, hey kid, how's your investigation coming? Keep up the good work. She says humans are so gross. Hey, when I'm with one of you, what are your sisters doing? She says they do their own things. You're not that interesting, Nathan. Are you worried we're constantly judging you? And he looks at her with this sad little look. He's like, no. How horrible to treat Nathan Summers like that, right? And then it goes to this next page, and it shows all of her sisters, and they're just like, we're going to dance a jig on this poor boy's broken heart. Ha 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 ha. They're just horrible. Esme, stop roasting him. There are other telepaths that might be more interesting on the island, right? Oh man, we're talking about Cable here. Badass Cable, right? That's what's happening here. I just want you to keep that in mind for those of you who have read Cable comics in the past. The people in this house were here earlier, and they left suddenly. They were doing weird chants in white robes, and then a screaming baby showed up, and they all left. That's got to be the Order of X. They're one of the weird cults that sprung up after Xavier's message. I thought I was a decent telepath, but I got nothing on you. You got all that from an empty house? It's not completely empty. There was a good girl inside. And then a little dog comes running out. Everything's... how do I say this? Everything feels like kind of a... everything's leading up to a little joke, And I don't think that's necessarily the way that every X-Men title needs to be written, where instead of, and don't get me wrong, hey, I gotta say this, X-Force has been written fantastic so far. It is playing a lot of characters in a different way, out of character. You have Dark Evil Beast kind of doing some really manipulative things. Everyone's being really dark and manipulative. You have Xavier and Fantastic Four X-Men being very manipulative and just downright mean. You know what I mean? So, everyone's out of character, but some of these are being written really well. Zdarsky, Benjamin Percy. I like some of Hickman's writing for these, but I'm telling you, I just had a really hard time with X-Men number 10. This is going to be the one that I finish on here. This came out this week, of course, and this is about Vulcan, and hey, I'm glad that they're coming back to Vulcan. He's a character that I never really spent much time on. I missed some of Claremont's run. I missed a lot of these runs, Morrison's. I missed all kinds of pieces of comics, just having money to buy them in the past, of course, and being able to read everything that's out there. There's a lot to look over, right? I think maybe Hickman's read it all, So he's making a lot of references during his run to some of his past runs and some of Claremont's stuff, and he's really digging in deep. But, oh man, this dialogue, and this whole video is almost about dialogue in this sense, and I just got to read this here, He says, "Here we go again, huh?" And these two girls, they're just like these Valley girls. She's like, "You know what I like to say, there's always time for margaritas." And if there's not, well, I'm me, so there's always time for margaritas. Oh, man. Okay. No adult supervision. Say goodbye to the boring mutants and say hello to the trash bags. We are so gonna wreck this place. So drink up, Emperor. I really wish you wouldn't call me that. And then, it goes to them getting, margarita headaches. They're just drinking margaritas for a few pages here. What about you? Not so much? Oh, I don't get that. Never have. Oh no. He has a fire burning within him, and they're singing a song. And they say, "Are we drinking, or are we drinking? Because frankly, I wouldn't mind turning things up to 10. I say 11 because there are a lot of very hot medium-powered mutants on the island that would love to get down at the summer house." Either way, what do you say, Emperor? Party or partay? And, I mean, just like I would do, he's like, "I'm going for a walk." I'm thinking of going for a walk, guys, and that's just the bottom line. And I mean, I'm thinking about dipping out of this, after House and Powers, I was like, man, yes, Dawn of X is going to be just fantastic. I'm all in. Let's do it. Let's do this. Hickman's writing it. Let's get this. See Percy on, Wolverine and X-Force, and don't get me wrong, I'm loving X-Force. I'm still hanging on to Wolverine after issue number 3. I think 4 is going to be worth it. I'm still going to get X-Men. I just can't imagine myself really, and I really want to be all in for 10 of Swords. I really do. I've always really enjoyed the symbolism in tarot and a lot of Masonic symbols in there that I really am fond of, in the tarot itself. And so seeing that in a comic book is pretty cool. But man, I'm really into mythology. I dig stuff like that. I'm telling you. What do y'all think? Look, I've looked at this. I'm considering dropping so many of these titles, and I'm just still wanting to hang on to it, but dialogue like this, it just doesn't seem like these books are written for me as an audience, and who are they for? And I just don't know. Are they for you? What are you thinking of Dawn of X? Every single one of these titles, I feel like every one of them is maybe for a different audience, but who are these for, and who's X-Men for? Is it playing to different crowds and different audiences simultaneously? And how many issues is it going to take to turn people off and just make them walk away from the whole series? And this is the kind of question that I'm asking myself. How many is it going to take for me to start walking away from this series? I was looking at a crowdfunding event that it was on Kickstarter, and I was thinking about buying it, and I was like, my comics, I already spent so much money on it. I'd have to drop some titles from my pull list from my LCS to buy this, just to be in my budget. I have a pretty strict budget. I'm saving for the future and retirement, all kinds of stuff. I only want to. I don't want to spend all my money on entertainment. That seems crazy. So, what do I do? Do I drop some titles from my local comic shop to buy these books that I do want from, an indie creator on Kickstarter? I don't know. What do you think? Would you? Would you do it? Are you reading Dawn of X? What do you think about this? Is it worth your time? I'm thinking maybe it's not mine. Either way it goes, I'm still going to support my local comic shop. You're the gateway into comics.